Looking at Azure App Services, and now we're moving on to describing Azure Virtual Networking. So, virtual networks enable resources such as VMs, web apps, and databases to communicate with each other. So it's not only um, limited to VMs, but we're also talking about web apps and databases, and with each other and with users on the internet and with your on-premises client computers. So it basically can think of an Azure network as an extension of your on-premises network with resources that link other Azure resources. So it provides the following key networking capabilities: isolation and segmentation, internet communications, um, communicate between Azure resources that we've just seen, uh, communicate with on-premises resources, route network traffic, filter network traffic, connect virtual networks. So you can connect virtual networks, you can filter network traffic, route network traffic, and Azure Virtual Networking supports both both public and private endpoints to enable communication between external or internal resources with other internal resources. So, uh, public endpoints have a public IP address and can be accessed from anywhere in the world, right? And whereas private endpoints exist within a virtual network and have a private IP address from within the address space of that virtual network. So, alright, so now we have the different features of or the capabilities of Azure Virtual Networks, right? So, scanning through the section. Okay. Alright, so isolation and segmentation. Um, alright, so it allows you to create multiple isolated virtual networks. And when you set up a virtual network, you define a private IP address space by using either public or private IP address ranges. The IP range only exists within the virtual network and isn't internet routable, and you can divide that IP address space into subnets and allocate part of the defined address space to each named subnet. Right, so and then you have internet communications. You can enable incoming connections from the internet by assigning public IP address, right? And then you can communicate between Azure resources that we have seen before. In on two ways, virtual network can connect not only VMs but other Azure resources such as App Service Environment for Power Apps, Azure Kubernetes, or service endpoints can connect to other Azure resource types such as SQL databases, storage accounts, and then you can communicate with on-prem resources. So Azure Virtual Networks enable you to link resources together in your on-prem environment and within your Azure subscription. So in effect, you can create a network that spans both your local and cloud environments, and there are three mechanisms for you to achieve this connectivity. and this is important because this is also there in AZ-104, right? And let's go through it again. So Azure Virtual Networks enable you to link resources together in your on-prem environment and within your Azure subscription. And in effect, you can create a network that spans both your local and cloud environments. And there are three mechanisms for you to achieve this connectivity. So you have point-to-site, VPN or virtual private network connection from a computer outside your organization back into your corporate network. In this case, the client computer initiates an encrypted VPN connection to connect to the Azure virtual network. And then you have site-to-site VPN. So links your on-prem VPN device or gateway to the Azure VPN gateway in a virtual network. In effect, the devices in Azure can appear as being on the local network. And then you have Azure Express Route, which is a dedicated private connectivity to Azure that doesn't travel over the internet. Okay, so then you can route network traffic. So Azure routes traffic between subnets on any connected virtual network, on-prem network, and the internet, and you can use route tables or border gateway protocols, right? Then you have filter network traffic. Azure Virtual Network enables you to filter traffic between subnets by using following approaches. You have network security groups and network virtual appliances. And then you're talking about connecting virtual networks. So you can link virtual networks together by using VN peer or virtual network peering. And again, this concept is really important in AZ-104 too. So we need to pay some attention. And peering allows two VNs, two virtual networks to connect directly to each other, and network traffic between peer networks is private and therefore travels on the Microsoft backbone network, never entering the public internet. Alright, so this is all about virtual networking, and in the next video we're going to configure network access.